One moment. Let's see. Congregation, I know they send those things up to the society, so just need to see how I can get those files from you all.
They don't, so that would be with the congregation.
Okay, so they don't send it up to the society. I would have to request that from the congregation itself?
Yes.
Okay, and then also, can you tell me what scripture that you all use for disfellowshipping, disfellowshipping, please?
I'm sorry, I'm not certain of your question. What do you mean?
So, what scripture do Jehovah's Witnesses use to disfellowship? Because I'm disfellowshipped, and I like to know what scriptural basis Jehovah's Witnesses use to disfellowship us, as well as what scripture do they use to determine if we're repentant or not? Because I was repentant, and I'm thinking about the 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I was disfellowshipped. And I think about, a body of men meeting with me as a woman, and I'm having to, talk about the sexual things that I did to get disfellowshipped. So if they're able to make that determination, I like to know what scriptural basis is used for disfellowshipping, because honestly, I've just never known. I just accepted it because I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So I like to know what scripture we use for disfellowshipping, because I am going to go back and approach the brothers to talk to them about this. But before I talk to them, I like to know from you all, because I know what they're going to tell me. We're going to have to reach out to the society, and it's going to take 3 or 4 days. So I'll call the society myself.
Okay, well, if you'd like to reach out to be reinstated, I encourage you to talk with those local elders there.
Yeah, well, I know to do that, but what I'm asking you is what scripture is used for, as to why we as an organization disfellowship individuals. That's a scripture, correct? I'm thinking there has to be a scripture, at least that's what my mom said.
So we'd encourage you to take a look at JW.org.
Okay, can you tell me where to go? I'll go ahead and pull it up now. Can you tell me where I need to go so that I can find out what scripture they use for disfellowshipping, please?
So on JW.org, you can look up on Watchtower Online Library disfellowshipping. Okay?
Okay, so I can use that. Okay, and then also, with having said with the disfellowshipping, can you tell me, is that something that was done in the congregation back in the, I'll say back in the Bible days, but I think you kind of understand what I'm asking. Or is it just something that I guess that happened to one person? I guess I'm trying to figure out, why do we disfellowship? Because when I was 15 years old, I was baptized, right? Well, then the following year I was 16 years old, and then I got disfellowshipped for having sex before I was, of course, married. Now I was only 16 years old. And when I met with them, by that time, I sincerely was sorry. First, I got baptized for the wrong reasons. Honestly, I just wasn't ready. Because anybody can read the questions and study and pass the questions, but that doesn't actually confirms that someone is ready for baptism. It's almost like taking a history test in school. I can study for a test and pass it, but really not have the foundation that's needed for to be like a history teacher, right? So they made this announcement in front of the congregation, and I'm 16 years old, and ever since then, I've been disfellowshipped for the 3rd time, and that really bothers me, because I never allowed my children to be baptized, but to be announced in front of a congregation of 100 plus people, and I'm 16 years old, and to me, it makes me think about everybody drawing a visual, probably of me having sex, because that's generally why we get disfellowship. It's generally not, it could be other bad business practices, but generally, for the most part, it's sexual. So I just wanted to know, are you all taking into consideration and thinking about stopping the disfellowshipping? Because one is humiliating, and I think about when they threw the prostitute before Jesus, they were basically casting stones, but Jesus turned that around on them because this prostitute was doing the best that she could, but yet they were judging her. Do you agree that that's something that's being done by disfellowshipping? They're judging and then not allowing families to talk. I mean, my mom always talked to me. I'm very glad that she had common sense enough to not stop talking to me, because who else are we supposed to turn to when we can't talk to anybody other than the elders? But I wouldn't want to keep talking to men about my sexual desires. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing. Wouldn't you think if your 15-year-old daughter had to talk to men about her sex, what she was doing sexually? Does that sound okay to you?
Well, I would encourage you, like we said, to look at Watchtower Online Library. You can look up disfellowshipping there. You can see all the Bible-based reasoning.
But I have contacted the society. You all can't answer that question. Do you think that that's appropriate for a 15-year-old to be talking to 2 or 3 men about what she's done sexually, and then to make an announcement in front of a congregation about her being disfellowshipped? She's no longer, and I never said I was no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. You all said that. I was still going to my meetings, but you all said that I was no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. But I was 15, I was 16, excuse me, I was 16 years old. And would you like that being made about your daughter in front of a congregation of 100 plus people? Would you find that appropriate if it was your daughter? I would just like to know your honest opinion. What are your thoughts about that?
I think what you need to do is do your research. So,
well, I've done my research actually, so that's why I'm calling the society, so that I can get better answers. Because the brothers are only going to redirect me to you all, and now you're redirecting me to them. But I don't need to talk to them because the decision comes from the governing body.
I'm redirecting you to the information that's published by the Faithful and Discreet Slave.
Right, but if I'm calling the society, which is where the governing body is located and all the literature and all the writing is created, why can I not get an answer from here? If I'm calling here and can get you on the phone, I tell you what, can I speak to a member of the governing body, please?
No, I'm sorry, you cannot.
Now, why can I not speak to them when they're over the congregation? Is that correct? Are they not over? They make all the decisions, right? Kind of like a board of directors, if you will, like a board. Don't they make the decisions and the rules and everything that we follow as humans inside of the organization?
So
that's
like
a yes or no. It's a yes or no question.
If you would like to look up the information on your own, you can.
But
Watchtower Online Library, okay?
But I've done that, so I like to know.
Further that we can say.
Is this not where the governing body is located, where they make all the rules and determination about a 16-year-old being disfellowshipped and announced in front of a congregation and talking to men about what she's done sexually? Don't the governing body make these rules that you all have books that you follow to say that a man can disfellowship, make a determination as if he's God, I guess, about a 16-year-old being disfellowshipped and maybe not repentant? Can I speak to a member of the governing body, please?
I've already told you, I'm sorry. So we'll have to let you go, okay? Have a good day.
But before you do, can I speak to a member of the governing body? As you see, he hung up while I was trying to talk to a member of the governing body, which is what I expected. Yep, great Jehovah'sWitnesses.org, correct?